Mindset Sports is for all athletes, youth, collegiate, professional, as well as coaches, organizations, athletic departments of high schools and colleges. And the goal of Mindset Sports is for each and every athlete to meet their potential.
I want to end the outline of my story by saying sometimes you have to just stop and hit the reset button in life. That doesn't mean you have to forget what's happened in the past. That doesn't mean you have to start over. It means that you have to stop, put things into perspective, think about where you started, where you are now, and then where you want to be.
To bring out their gift and their potential and help them live a healthy, balanced life so that they can become the best competitor they possibly can.
All right, welcome to One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It is Monday, June 21st, and this month has just flown by. We're almost into July, and the fireworks, we're going to go ahead and start with some of that tonight. We've got a great guest, and as usual, we have my co-host out there in Colorado, Jay Gill. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on with his little introduction that we started doing. Jay's coming on to you right now. All right, Jay, welcome.
Man, that picture is just so good. I wish we could just have that picture plastered on the screen so you wouldn't have to see this face the whole time.
Well,
but it's fine. It's fine.
You look good anyway, so there you go.
Okay.
You just have your hat on. That's the only difference. Your Diesel Power Plus hat. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I have to rep Diesel Power Plus. I
Right.
love that place. I can't wait to go out there and get some ice cream. But Dad, man, I'm kind of fired up about tonight's guest. So
well, I'm sure you are because we've known this guy for a little while when we got started with the magazine. So you just
Oh yeah.
You go ahead and build him up big time like you do. So go ahead.
Well, in case our viewers don't know, our guest is Brad Dempsey with Mindset Sports tonight. And our relationship with him does go back several years. So when we first started the Sports Locker magazine, Brad was a vital part of getting our relationship with Helias Catholic High School. And I remember going in and meeting Brad for the first time and just kind of talking to him, telling him what we were about. And he just bought in right away, anything for his students and anything for those athletes. He was like, yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about them. We even got to interview him. And so if in case you viewers don't know, Brad, he's been a key part of the Mid-Missouri sports for over a dozen years. He's been a teacher, a coach, an assistant principal, and then, as we've talked about, he was the athletic director for Helias Catholic. And that it was that role that we really got to know him professionally. And then over time, we discovered how truly of a great man Brad Dempsey is. And I don't want to spoil the whole interview, but I do want to give away a little bit. Brad, he's faced many challenges in his life, and probably none greater than a traumatic brain injury from a life-threatening car accident at the age of 13. The physical and mental ailments that resulted from this injury, it took years for Brad to overcome. And it was through these challenges and the hard lessons that he learned from that's really where he found the opportunity that was provided to him. And he's literally treated it like an opportunity, something that he can share with others. And that has been his passion as of late. And so being able to help people overcome their obstacles and help them discover their gifts, that's what we're going to talk about
That's right.
tonight. And so if that's not good of enough a teaser for you, then I'm not sure what is. I'm excited to get Brad in here. And so, Dad, come on, bring in the man himself, Brad
All
Dempsey.
right, here we go. Hey, Brad, how you doing?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
Jay, we
sorry
might
I
as well
didn't have the
start the
smoke
show,
for
man.
you.
The smoke,
There can
hey,
only be
Jay.
one diva on the show. I'm the diva. Come on now, Dad.
Hey, we're thankful for you, and we're glad that you're joining us tonight. And we're looking forward to having a little bit of fun, as well as gain some information from you as far as what's going on in your life right now. Before we get started, I mean, you did a lot of traveling this morning just to get back home and be able to be on the program tonight as well. Tell everybody where you were at.
Yeah, I was down in Dallas, Texas last week. My middle daughter, Aubrey, she had a soccer tournament down there. So we were down there enjoying the 105, 110-degree weather and doing the soccer thing. And most importantly, my wife was adopted when she was 4 years old, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But we got to spend time with her biological cousins, and it just makes for a great week, and it just really filled us up. And it was good to get back. We drove through the night. I had some athletes to meet with this morning, and wanted to get on with you guys and give you my best. So I got home and did that and got a nap in.
All right, naps are good.
Boy, naps are real good.
Naps are
Naps
good.
are real good. Except when I wake up and I feel like it's, Sunday morning and I
Yeah.
miss the bus. Those are those naps I wake up like, what happened?
What day is it?
That's when it
What
goes
day
south.
is it? Did I miss the school bus, Mom? My wife's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Hey, that's great. Jay, why don't you go ahead and get us started with the questions, and we'll get some information from this man here.
Hey, sounds good. So, Brad, before we start talking about mindset sports and all the awesome things that you're doing right now, why don't you give everyone a little background on your previous coaching and professional positions?
Yeah, so I started coaching when I was 16 years old. Started coaching my brother's team back in Hannibal, Missouri, a basketball team, and then I dove into coaching some Y sports and I went to Holy Family Catholic School growing up, and I coached some teams there, and I just loved it. I love coaching kids. I love teaching kids. It really filled me up. So it's something I did for a long time, all the way through. I actually non-traditionally landed into education when I moved back. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, working with the lady that saved my life, and I moved back to marry my wife, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And seems like my whole life is a God story. So I got a call from a high school friend of mine who taught at Hannibal Middle School, and he was like, "Hey, Principal Treaster, he needs a teacher ASAP." And I was like, "Well, not really a teacher, but..." He's like, "Well, just give him a call." So I called him, and he brought me in for an interview. And then I actually started the next day, but he wanted me to start right then and there. And I wasn't quite ready that day, but he gave me the tour. And the funny story is, a week later, an former AAU basketball teammate of mine called me up and was like, "Hey, the head basketball coach up here is looking for an assistant varsity basketball coach. You interested?" Drove up to Palmyra. Next thing I know, I'm the assistant varsity basketball coach in Palmyra. Did that for 2 years, and then I started as a head coach. And then the next thing I know, I'm in Jeff City, finishing up my master's. I had to non-traditionally get my teacher certification. Eventually, I'll never forget, I was my second teaching job, and the superintendent walks in, and he's like, "Brad, you're not certified?" And I was like, "No." And he's like,
No.
"Oh, we're going to do something about this." And I was like, "Okay, what do I need to do?" But people just kept hiring me, so I took the job. But no, I've gotten to work for so many great people and so many great schools, and I've gotten to succeed, and more importantly, I've gotten to fail and learn hard lessons. And that's really what's brought me here today. But my love for coaching and just being around people and teaching, and more importantly, learning is just what I love to do. It's what fills me up.
You are a good man, because I just was looking and I see it's your anniversary today.
Yeah. So like I said, we drove 10 hours last night in the car, and we talked the whole time. It was actually really fun. We did a lot of laughing because she thought I was gonna fall asleep. She made me pull over to rest stop for 20 minutes because she saw red on the screen of a storm, and I'm like, whatever. So guys, we've been together basically for 25 years. We met. Um, we got to know each other at age 13. It was the year of my car accident, and we both have the same last name. So she was adopted by a Dempsey family that I'm not
Wow.
related to, and she we started dating that year when we were 13, and the ups and downs and the years of the toxic relationship because of her stuff and my stuff, and you put it combined, and but we've worked through it, and we've been together ever since, and it's been a great 25 years and 13 years of marriage.
That's great.
I just keep waiting to see her like pop around the computer and be like, "I told you no." What?
And nobody would be surprised.
Yeah, it's our anniversary. Well, I had no idea. Happy anniversary. That's
Thanks,
Yes,
cool.
man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
man.
Oh
I
man.
saw that and I was like, oh, his wife, she is awesome. My
Oh,
She
she's
wife,
super
is
cool.
awesome.
same thing. We were celebrating our anniversary on this program, so it's just what we do. We
It's
could call this
sports, man.
the
It's
anniversary
part of it.
program.
I mean, you just imagine how many things that we celebrated when I was the AD at Elias. That's what those ADs do. It's the AD life.
That's
Those
right.
guys and gals that do that job are just super unbelievable. I know Tom Glenn, who took over for me at Elias. They won the state championship in football this year, and I remember. I don't remember if I texted him or gave him a phone call, but our back and forth ended up with him saying, "Man, this has been one of the toughest things I've done in education, and what a
Mm,
great reward for him and the school." But it's just been a super rough year on all those educators and,
Hmm.
and, and principals
yep.
and assistant principals. And man, God bless them all. They're just unbelievable what they do.
Yeah, they definitely are. And you mentioned about your time here in Jeff City. What did you enjoy about that time here?
Uh, guys, I'm down here in St. Louis now, and St. Louis is great. There's a high school on every corner, but when you're in Jeff City, you get the royal treatment. I mean, I coached high school girls soccer for 5 years, and I loved it. Actually, I turned that job down 3 times before I actually finally said yes. I went to a game, and my wife was like, "You need to do this," and I was like, "You know what? I do," and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. But you know, getting interviewed after every high school soccer game, girls high school soccer game. That's Jeff City sports for you.
Yeah.
And nothing against high school girls soccer, but you guys know there's sports that get the cred, and there's sports that don't across the country. But when you live in the Jeff City area, it's all important,
Hmm.
and I loved that. And
Yeah.
not just about sports, but I mean, when you have Helias, Jeff City, Blair Oaks, Fatima, you name it, they're all there, and just you talking unbelievable, either Hall of Fame or future Hall of Fame coaches,
Hmm.
all within like a 20-mile radius. It was just one of the coolest experiences. I meet with people. I was back at a wedding. Um, Coach Hinch's one of his granddaughters. I coached Abby Rockers. You guys probably know the Rockers family. She got married, and I
Yep.
was back at her wedding a couple weeks ago. And just being around those people, it's there's so much tradition and so much fun. And I'm going on vacation. You guys remember Coach Thompson, Blair Thompson? We're going on
Hmm.
vacation in a couple weeks. But I've met so many cool people there, and it's such a unique place and a neat place to be. And I was just super blessed to have my time there. And I just had a great time, and so many memories, so many fun memories with the student athletes and the parents and the people I worked with. Just a true blessing.
Yeah. You were telling me that you have several weddings you're going to be going to throughout the summer. So you're keeping busy with that, aren't you?
Yeah, one of my things is building relationships that last a lifetime. You want them all to be positive. My heart's pretty heavy today. Last couple of days, I had a young lady who lost her mother, in an accident over the weekend that I coached. I knew her growing up. I only got to coach her for a year, but things like that, it's just all in the family, man. It's just all in the family. You love those people and you care about them and they just mean a lot to you. Sometimes it bothers me because I can't have daily interactions with all the kids that I've coached. One of the coolest things that I've done over the last couple of years is get on Facebook. I as an educator was never on Facebook for reasons of I just didn't want it to cause problems. Um, I think I started the AD job when I was 29, so I was pretty young, and I've never been one to really put myself out there. But when I left education, I got on Facebook, and I know people can see it as a negative and positive and all the things, but for me, being able to be in contact and see all the great things and the families that I've been a part of, just see all the things that they're doing and what's happening, it really fills me up. I love it.
That's great. That's great. It is important. I mean, you talk about relationships, and I know that you really focus on that. And speaking of relationships, we'll just transition right into this next question, Jay. I know we talked a little bit about it, so why don't you go ahead with that one?
Yeah, I'd love the viewers just to hear a little bit more about your wife and your kids, and tell us about your family.
Oh man. So I have three kids now. My daughters are 12, 10. She'll be 12, 10, and 6. My son is 6. My oldest daughter is named after my mother, Alice. My mother, Alice, passed away a few months after my wife and I got married. She was really sick with stage 4 colon cancer, and she survived. She really just wanted to see us get married, and right after she passed, Gail and I decided, we wanted to start a family right away, and it's just another God thing. We knew it was going to be a girl, and we named her Alice, and Aubrey, the quirky one, the middle child. She's actually named after. You remember
I relate
show,
to that. I relate
Deal or
to the
No
middle.
Deal?
Deal or
You're
no
the
deal?
middle. Deal or No Deal. We like the name Aubrey. Deal or No
Uh-huh.
Deal. And then Quinn, going back to sentimental, the priest that married us and buried my mother and baptized the two girls. His father Quinn, unbelievable guy. So our son's named after him. So, but Aubrey got the Deal or No Deal, and that's she's kind of the crazy wild one anyway. But no, it's family. I tell you guys this about family. One thing I learned, and I learned this at Elias, and I suffered severe burnout when I was at Elias. I love that school. I still love that school. I'll always bleed blue and gold. It was a great opportunity, great experience for me. I love the people there. But I worked so much and so hard that I lost sight of what was important, and and that's my family. And so being able to learn, and as I build the business Mindset Sports, it's all about balance, body, mind, and spirit. And so the last however many years, even through the quarantine, being able to spend as much time as possible with my families and pour into my kids and just be there and have those memories. It's been amazing, and I never would have learned that if I didn't experience um, overworking myself and having that imbalance in my life. So the family's great. The marriage is great. The kids are great. It's hard. It's always hard. You guys know that it's always hard. But if it's not hard, then it's really not worth doing, right? So
Yeah, it's and again, I mean, you're on an interview on your anniversary. I'd be like, sorry, Gayla, we're so
hey,
sorry.
she's right here, man. She's
I,
alive. Look here. I'm gonna have her pointed.
Perfect.
She just walked in the room. Here
All
she
right,
is.
hi,
Yeah.
Gayla, how are
Oh,
you?
Just so everybody knows, I'm not.
We're so sorry.
No, she's cool, man.
All
She's
right,
about as cool as it gets.
good. Hey, we've flown by this first part. Why don't we go ahead and do our first sponsor, then we'll come back and we'll start talking about some mindset sports. So first, we're going to go hear from CNS Business Services.
Hi, it's Mandy, recruiter with CNS Business Services. If you have visited C&S Business Services website, you will notice that we have a wide variety of positions available from entry level to professional. Within those positions, they're classified as temporary, temp to hire, and direct hire. Call us today or visit our website to inquire about those positions.
Say yes to C&S.
CNS Business Services, they've been with us from the beginning, and they are working hard for mid-Missouri. They're trying to find people that are wanting to work, and they've got many positions to place them in. So if you need a job or know somebody that needs a job, contact Paula and Stephanie and their whole team, like Mandy, at CNS Business Services, and they'll help you out. All right, this has been good. It's been good to see Mr. Dempsey. We haven't seen him in a while, and it's been nice reuniting with him. So, Jay, why don't you find out what he's doing now?
Yeah, so I was kind of teasing people. So if you haven't been watching, I've been trying to drop a little bit of teases every now and then. But Brad, I kind of want to just talk about this new season in your life. You talk about this opportunity, and you really just want to make an impact on the lives of others, and I think that's just amazing. So go ahead and tell us about Mindset Sports, but I also want to dig a little deeper and talk a little bit about that brain injury that you had at 13, because that was very formative in your career and helping others.
Yeah, so as I was sharing with you guys before we jumped on the show, and Kirk and I talked about this when we a few weeks ago, creating Mindset Sports, I launched 3 weeks ago, and it's a huge leap of faith for me because I've decided to go out on my own because this is something that I truly 100% believe in. Uh, Sports have gotten me through so much of my life, and having the opportunity to be a part of sports, whether as an athlete, a teacher, a coach, whatever it may be. And so having that opportunity has given me the faith and the strength to always keep going. And so uh, I spend hours upon hours at athletic fields and events still to this day. And I see the struggle. I see the struggle through the athlete's eyes, through the parents' eyes, through the referees, coaches, athletic directors. And there's just a need. There's a need for mindset and performance coaching. There's a need for how people approach the business of sports. And so I've kind of developed this niche, and this is something that I want to do. Just like when you guys started the magazine and you walked in the Helias and you're ready, gearing to go. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm taking this huge leap of faith, and I'm just excited about doing it.
Yeah, that's it is. It's a leap of faith. Jay kind of forced my hand. He said, "We're doing this," and I was like, "Okay, here we go." Yeah. Hey, why don't you tell a little bit about as far as the injury that you had and just how you went through that?
Yeah, and before I do that, Jay's always had this positive attitude and this optimism about him when you have that, it's like you can't lose. You're going to be successful. There's really no scoreboard in life. So I've always appreciated that about you, Jay, and hey, that's why we're here right now, right?
That's why we're here right now. Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's why we're here.
7 years
So,
later.
yeah, so I was in an accident, and I suffered traumatic brain injury, and it's kind of one of those things, back in the 90s is something we just didn't, the brain wasn't talked about a lot. And, now the concussions and sports and all of that, it's something that's big. But I spent years upon years up until this day, guys. I'll have weeks, 3 weeks, a month at a time where I'll be physically depressed, like my whole body. I can't really, I don't have energy. There's things that happen. A lot of things that I've done over the years to work through that and work on that and make changes to better myself. But there's also things that I cannot control, unfortunately. So the key to everything that I've done and what I've learned about myself is to control my mindset, control how I approach things and how I'm going to do things. And believe it or not, even when I was at Helias, I was always looking for the next thing that I could do to keep myself busy, because when I'm busy, at that young age, when I was busy, I'd be burnt out, but I'd get up if I have something to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it right, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure it gets done. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't filling myself up. I just continued to suck the life out of myself to where I just was physically in a bad place. And then eventually it's going to lead to you mentally being in a bad place. And that's just the reality. And we all get caught up in things, whether it's family stuff, work stuff, whatever it may be. And that's why, guys, my faith, my relationship with the Lord, and just loving Jesus has, and I'm no preacher, I can't do what Kirk does, but it's played a significant role in developing who I am and helping me reach people. And instead of having what I go through control me, be me being able to control it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It's obviously it was a difficult time, but you have come out on the other side. And like you said, there's still challenges that you have each and every day. But one of the things that you've talked about frequently is tell us about finding your gift and giving it away every single day. Tell us a little bit about that. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, so one of the coolest things I ever did in education is I brought Don Meyer. Don Meyer, you can look him up, his 2009 ESPY speech. I brought him to Jeff City, to Elias, for an event that I was putting on for the Parochial League. I was the president at the time. And Coach Meyer, I didn't know how sick he was, but he was actually dying when he came to Jeff City, and became close with him and his family. And he himself had skipped out on a lot of years of doing what he should with his family. And this is actually right when I took the AD job. He's like, "You sure you want to do that?" But he looked me in my eyes. We were sitting in the locker room that we had renovated at Elias, and he said, "Brad, you have a gift, and you got to give it away every day." And it really just touched me and touched my heart. And as a former educator and a person that is building this business, every single person is unique, and as every single person has a gift. There's just no doubt about it. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to read the Word every day. I really love doing that. It's something I enjoy, and it repeats it many a times in the Bible. And so for me, when I look at education, it's so easy for people to get caught up in the motions of just, I'll go to school, I'm going to do this and then that, and then in the tasks, right? Just get caught up in that. But for me, I think that for us to transform education and sports and everything it may be, is helping that individual maximize their potential by helping them find their gift, find what they're good at. Because once they find something they're good at, they can build around that. They can maximize their potential. They can believe in themselves. They can walk with confidence, and that's a struggle that we see a lot of athletes have, and more importantly, that's a struggle we see a lot of people have.
Right. And I think the biggest gift that we can give is giving time to other people. And I know that that's what your focus is, and just giving back, giving of yourself, and just again loving people and doing like God's done unto us. And so that's exciting. I know you've got good things ahead of you. We're coming up on another break, but Jay's got another question for you before we hit that.
Well, and like I said, we might go off script. I remember reading on your website today, um, and something that really resonated with me was you were talking about um, don't focus on the victory, don't focus on that end goal of winning a championship, or whatever that goal is that you're setting out. That shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should be on, what do I got to do every day to get there. And the focus was more on the process. And I mean, I know we're talking about sports, but man, I mean, that stuff that hit me right here in my heart. And I'm like, that's, I've got goals and we've got things we're trying to do at our company, but we got to focus on the daily things and make sure we're taking care of that. Was that just something that kind of came through, through all of the hard lessons you've learned?
Yeah, that, but more importantly, I think that I've always been blessed to be surrounded by great people, great coaches, great mentors. All of the coaches I've worked with, getting to know Coach Meyer, all the way back to Dave Fox. His son was my assistant. Dustin, Dave's a big Jeff City J guy. I've just been surrounded by some of the best, and Dr. Rick McGuire with the Positive Coaching Institute when he was with them at the University of Missouri. But just being able to learn the importance of the details and the process, because we all want great results. We all want to be champions. We all want the biggest materialistic things, everything we can get our hands on. But man, let's be real. If we get those things easy, we're going to take them for granted, and they're going to be gone in no time. I mean, the real reward is when you achieve something from the hard work that you put in, regardless of how big the trophy is or whatever you win. But the real reward is the internal reward, that intrinsic, that feeling, that natural high of, man, I accomplished it. We know the feeling of just getting the house cleaned. You're just like, man, this feels so good to have a clean house. It's going to be messed up again in a couple
Yes.
hours, but man, it's just that. And I fully, firmly believe we have to get back to teaching these young people how to work hard and how to set goals and how to have to do things, it's just, it's so important that they have, because young people, if they have expectations and accountability, those expectations, that is what they need. That is what they need. And they will feel good when they meet the expectations, regardless of if it's getting a laundry done or mowing the yard for your dad, or setting a goal in a soccer game, not result oriented, but a goal to just go out and work your hardest. Because then they learn that feels good. And now we're into believing in yourself, and then you can have confidence, obviously.
Yeah, that is good. And speaking of feeling good, we're going to go ahead. That transitions right into this next commercial we got. And this is a little something that I put together, and I know Jay's going to appreciate this. So we're going to talk a little bit about Diesel Power Plus and the Dairy Barn here. Oh, Jay, you got to get here and try this out. This is so good. I know you've been talking about it. Since you've been talking about it, I thought I would just go ahead and pop over and try it out. Yeah, Dairy Barn, good stuff. Sorry. All right, Jay, that one was for you.
I'm just trying not to crack up during the commercial. Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's funny, when you sat down and grabbed it, I thought, you are going to take a bite right in front of me. You're going to take a bite of ice cream, and then you looked at me and said, "Yep,
Sorry.
I did this for you." That's good.
That's great.
Took
That's
one for
real
the
good.
team.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
they
awesome.
are located out on Highway 50 and 87 in California, Missouri. Diesel Power Plus, and they've got the Dairy Barn there. Again, they got great stuff all the way throughout there. Their merchandise, that hat you're wearing, that is an awesome looking hat, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. But the ice cream's good, Jay. You gotta try it. Brad, when you're in the area, swing through there. It's when you're meeting with people in California, coaches, student athletes.
That's right.
There you go. That'll be the place for you to go and have a nice little bowl of ice cream. So
Calmo's a great place. It's a
yeah,
great place.
it is. Absolutely. Well, hey, we are in our final segment, and Jay, why don't you go ahead and kick that off, and we'll learn some more about Mindset Sports.
Yeah. So speaking of, we're talking about Mindset Sports. We're talking about these programs. I want the viewers to hear, like, who's this for? How's this going to help benefit those people?
Yeah, so right now, my main focus right now is on young athletes and their families, whether it's their parents or guardians. But we're building affordable programs, online programs, to kind of lay the foundation and get them started, which will lead into some of our group coaching and individual coaching programs depending on the needs of the athlete or the needs of the parents or the families, whatever they may be going through or whatever they're looking to accomplish. And then so also I'm building programs to work with college athletes and professional athletes, and that's kind of a whole different side thing because it's a little different. Um, but I'm really excited about some masterminds I'm building for athletic directors and coaches and teams. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and it's kind of one thing at a time. But right now, my main focus is on youth athletes and their families because um, I really, I don't want to say worry, but I'm really not happy with the direction that it's going in overall right now with the way things are. I really believe that those young people are the true foundation, and I just think sports can be a great experience and a great thing. And I'm seeing way too many negative experiences come from sports, or
Mhm.
lessons learned the wrong way, meaning there's expectations like, oh, we're automatically going to win, or that a player gets treated like they're the best, and then they get to high school and they fall behind and they just get left behind. You know what I mean? So there's
Hmm.
so many lessons that have to be learned. These kids have to be taught. Every single kid needs to be treated the same. Every single kid needs an opportunity. Yes, they need to compete at the level where they belong, but there's a place for every single one of them in sports. There's no doubt about it, and they definitely need to have a good experience, um, experience falling forward and picking themselves up, and also have success.
Hmm. How's this? We're talking about sports, but how does this transition to just everyday life for them?
Guys, I think it's all the same to me. Obviously, my vehicle is sports, but life is super competitive, right? I mean, look at you two with your ice cream. I mean, it gets it, it's hard. It's hard, and we can always find a problem. I mean, shoot, we can find a problem within a solution, and that's what people want to believe, and they want to fight, and they want to get this and this way and that way and the right way. Hey guys, even when I was an AD, there was a lot of times where I could have been better if I would have relied on the team instead of trying to do it myself. That was one of my weaknesses, is trying to do everything on my own. But the bottom line is we're not accomplishing anything without, like, our family. We should all be looking at our families as a team. We're a
Hmm.
team. We all have to work together. We all have to accomplish something. We all have to pitch in and be a part of something. And those are a lot of pieces that we'll put into mindset sports. But at the end of the day, it's what is it going to take for us to be successful? What is it going to take for us to win the day and do great things?
That's good stuff. Very good. Jay, go ahead and go on with the next one.
Yeah, so Brad, like, what's your vision for Mindset Sports? What's going to be the most rewarding outcome for you?
That's a great question. For me, it's just I guys, I learned to start my every morning with God, and for me, I want to work His plan, whatever His plan is for it. It seems like every time I want things to go a certain way or do things a certain way, I'm sure you guys could um, speak about this even when it comes to the magazine and what you guys have done. I end up going in a different direction. So right now, I'm just very prayerful that I go in the direction that's going to benefit the company, and whatever it comes. I don't have like this big vision of this big huge company where I'm bringing in millions of dollars. Really, honestly, I just want to reach as many people as possible. My prayer every morning is, dear Lord, just send me the people you want me to work with, and let us partner and do great things to where those people can believe and find success and confidence in themselves, that we can so they can find enjoyment through sports. And really, that's all I want. And I think that if I'm doing it the right way, the Lord will take care of me, and I'll just go from there.
Yeah. I pretty much know that you're going to do it the right way, because what you're talking about, that's what gets us on the right track, and um, you're heading in the right direction, that's for sure. So, we've
Appreciate that.
gone through this pretty quickly. But I want to know how can people get in contact with you, and how can they get more information, Brad?
Yeah, so the website is mindsetsports.life, and then they can reach me. My email address is Coach D. I got to stick with Coach D because it started, back when I started coaching PE a long time ago, but Coach D at mindsetsports.life. And there's a contact us um, portion on the website, and there's also you can literally go read through, like if you have a youth athlete, you can go read through the page, and at the bottom of the page you can schedule an hour for me, and it's complimentary. I want to dive into what's going on and see what we can do to help, or see if there's a solution we can provide. Eventually I'll have programs that I can direct people to, and so that's all in the works. I'm working with a lot of different people, having a lot of fun, just like you guys are here. I got to be on a podcast. I think it's going to be released this week with a couple pro hockey players not too long ago that are just focused on mental health when it comes to sports. Um, so I'm just meeting a lot of people, having a lot of fun, and that's how you can get a hold of us. We're getting ready to launch a live show, kind of like you guys have here. It's different, next Saturday with my good friend and my co-host Elijah Mayfield, and we're actually doing a podcast together as well, just telling stories, telling inspirational, unique sports stories. So we're really excited about that as well.
That's exciting. Of course, everybody knows we have Mr. Elijah Mayfield on here on the program, and he's a blessed. Love that young man, and um, I mean, just knowing what you've told me, it's going to be a great program. So looking forward to seeing that. And any final words from you, other than, again, Gayla, sorry, happy anniversary. Anything else that you want to add, Brad?
No, I do. I want to tell you guys, like you said, we go back to the beginning of when you guys started the magazine. How many years has it been now?
We are in our 7th year.
So that's my favorite number, man. I love seven. uh, I just can't say, and I still follow all your articles, everything you put out. I follow you guys. I'm a Missouri guy, so anything Northeast, and now I lived in Central Missouri for 8 years. I follow it, all the sports on Twitter and everything, all the great coaches and athletes. But what you guys do is just a super blessing. I mean, every family and every athlete that you guys get in your magazine, I mean, that's something that those people cherish. And so when you guys started doing that, I was like, man, this is so cool. I loved it. And it just means so much to people. So I know sometimes people forget to tell you, how much it means to them. But on their behalf, since I'm on the show, I just want to say, man, thank you guys. Thank you guys for um, bringing out what's great about sports, the stories, the adversity that people have overcome, the hard work that they've put in, the success that they've had, and just putting that out there for people to see, because that inspires people to do more. And so every article you guys put out there, every coach you talk to or athlete, you guys are inspiring people to do more. And that's what we need. That's what this country needs. That's what our local area needs. And I'm just very appreciative of that. And I really enjoy following you guys. I'm really thankful for what you do. And just I hope God keeps blessing you, both of you, your entire team, and everything you do.
Well, we greatly appreciate that, and I mean, I know Jay would say the same thing. It is very rewarding to be able to sit down with these student athletes, coaches, athletic directors, and just going into these different schools and just hearing their story and being able to tell that. It's an honor to be able to do that. And we're getting ready to have our July-August issue, which that is the only themed issue we do every year. It's a patriotic issue where we're honoring student athletes that are going into the military. And so I'm excited about that getting ready to come out, and there's some really good stories in there. Brad, again, it's been an honor having you on here tonight. We're going to have you on again if you're up for that. So we'll make sure
I
that
appreciate it.
we'll make sure that we keep up to date with what's going on, and we'll hold on with us here until after Jay closes out, because that's part of the deal with the magazine. He gets the final word, and he gets the final word on here. So we'll make sure we stay in tune with that. So thank you again. We appreciate
Thank you guys.
Yeah. All right. That was good stuff, Jay.
Dad, I mean, Brad has a gift and he gives it. So he
Yes.
gave that gift to us tonight because my soul, I actually was very tired today. Um, I've had a long weekend. It's super hot. My wife is ready to pop and have a new baby at any moment, and so it can get very tiring. But man, I mean, I feel filled up.
Yeah.
My soul feels filled up, and just being able to talk with him. So I'm like, I'm not an athlete, but I need to figure out how I can book me some hours with Brad Dempsey. you know, uh, so I just whatever he does to fill himself up, so he can keep filling up others. Just keep doing it, Brad, because that's awesome. Um, I think it's like he said. When he had his accident, in the '90s. I grew up in the '90s. I remember that era, that time, and mental health was not really a big thing. And I love that it has become more, um, more on the radar. But I still feel like sometimes there's a stigma behind mental health, and it's just so important. The older I get, the more I go through. It's just if you don't have your mind right, your whole body just feels it, and that's the importance of sleep, and that's the importance of making sure you're putting the right things in your mind, and so that way when you're on, what do they call it, sleep mode, or when you're on, auto drive, if you have the right things in your mind, then you're going to do the right things as well. And so it's just super important. And I think Brad is going to touch the lives of many people. He's already touched mine
That's
tonight.
right.
And so I'm very excited to see where Mindset Sports goes, and what an awesome name. It's all about the mindset. So I absolutely love that, and I love what he's bringing to the table. I love that we're going to be able to watch that on Saturdays, and you get to watch my guy Elijah Mayfield. I mean, come on, I'm telling you guys, you do not want to miss this. So, One Nation, obviously, we appreciate you guys. You guys are our Sports Locker Nation, but I hope you guys are going to get shared with Mindset Sports. You got to check this out. You got to watch that with Brad. Get filled up. Get your mind right. That way you can attack every day and give it your best. Because then, if you can discover your gift, you can share it with others. So I'm very excited to see where this goes, and I'm pretty fired up. So, anyways, Brad, it was a total honor to have you on tonight, and I really appreciate what you poured into us. So. Remember, guys, you need to hit that like button. You need to subscribe. You need to share our content. And that way we can keep bringing you awesome people like Brad Dempsey every week.
That's right.
So Sports Locker Nation, this is One Nation and SLM Extra. And we really appreciate you guys. God bless.
And we want to finish out saying happy anniversary to Gayla and Brad Dempsey. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate you. God bless everybody. We'll see you next week.